Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into something pretty significant in the renewable energy space. It's the International Solar Alliance, the ISA, and their really quite groundbreaking plan for a global solar research hub, and it's planned for right here in India. We're aiming this deep dive particularly at those of you interested in current affairs, maybe preparing for exams like the UPSC, looking for a crisp overview. So our mission today is to unpack this ISA vision, understand India's role, and figure out what it all means for the future of solar energy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive in. What's the headline news we're starting with?
Right. The core announcement, and it is pretty major, is that the ISA has confirmed plans to set up this big solar research and innovation hub in India. And the ambition here is really high. They want it to meet the standards of, top institutions like the IITs, essentially a wind-class center.
Okay, world-class standards. And it's more than just one single hub, isn't it? It sounds like a whole network. The sources mentioned, I think, 17 centers of excellence globally by the end of 2025. But the key part seems to be this Global Capability Center, the GCC, in India. How does that act as a Silicon Valley for solar, sort of linking everything up?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The Silicon Valley idea isn't just about the physical labs. It's really about creating that whole innovation ecosystem. Like Silicon Valley did for tech, but applying it to public energy infrastructure, specifically solar. So the GCC in India is planned as the central coordinator, identifying research gaps, new tech trends, and then feeding these challenges out to the specialized centers of excellence, the COEs, around the world.
Right, and these COEs, they're often based in universities, doing the practical stuff.
Exactly. They'll be the regional hubs, often within universities, doing hands-on lab training, testing new materials for panels, working on grid software, that kind of thing. And importantly, helping local startups get off the ground to, get these innovations actually into the market faster. There's even talk, as you said, of expanding beyond 17, maybe up to 50 centers. Seems there's a real demand growing for Indian expertise in building up solar capacity globally.
That's fascinating. Let's step back just a bit. For listeners who might not be familiar, what's the ISA itself? Quick background.
Sure. So the ISA, International Solar Alliance, it was actually conceptualized by India and France. It launched back in 2015 during the COP21 climate conference in Paris. Its headquarters are in Gurugram, Haryana, right here in India, and membership is around, I think, 100 countries now, maybe slightly more, actually.
Okay, launched 2015, HQ in India. And what's their main goal? What unites these member countries?
Their mission is pretty clear-cut and very ambitious. Two main things. Unlock $1 trillion in solar investments by 2030, and crucially, bring down the cost significantly, both the cost of solar technology itself and the cost of financing projects. It's about making solar accessible fast.
$1 trillion. That's quite a target.
Yeah.
So given this global ambition and India hosting the main GCC, where does India itself stand with solar right now?
Well, India's made significant strides. Installed solar capacity is around 119 gigawatts, give or take. That's out of a total installed power capacity of roughly 484 GW. And interestingly, non-fossil fuel sources now make up about 50% of that total installed capacity. Solar is a big chunk of that, about 48% of the non-fossil share.
50% non-fossil installed capacity. That sounds really good.
Yeah. It is good progress on capacity, absolutely. But, and this is a really important distinction, when you look at the electricity actually generated and supplied, clean energy is still under 30% of the mix. Coal is still the dominant force, generating maybe 75% of the electricity. So there's a gap, between installed capacity and actual generation. That's the ongoing transition challenge.
Right. That context is critical. Capacity versus actual generation. That brings us to the strategic side. We're seeing this human capital export idea emerge, Indian engineers being sought after internationally for solar projects.
Absolutely. It's becoming quite noticeable. Indian expertise in digital tendering for solar projects, operations and maintenance, even reskilling workforces in other countries, it's in demand. It definitely points to a growing leadership role for India in the practical side of solar deployment.
And does that connect to the bigger grid ideas, like one sun, one world, one grid?
It connects perfectly. OSOWOG, or One Sun, One World, One Grid, is really a strategic initiative. The idea is to interconnect regional grids, eventually aiming for a global solar grid. This tackles solar's intermittency problem, right? When it's sunny in one place, they can export power to where it's dark or cloudy, maximize the use of solar globally. A concrete example being explored is the India-UAE undersea cable, about 2,000 kilometers long. Because peak solar hours differ, you could potentially have very profitable power trading between the regions.
An undersea cable, fascinating. Are there other specific initiatives under the ISA we should mention? The sources listed StarC, SolarX.
Yes, those are important too. StarC focuses on capacity building and training. The SolarX Challenge is more about spurring innovation, like a competition for new ideas and startups. There's also EODs, which I believe relates to energy access and deployment support. It shows they're tackling this from multiple angles: tech, finance, skills, deployment.
Okay, so bringing this all together, the global hub in India, the COEs, OSOWOG, the skills export,
Yeah.
what's the main takeaway for our listener? What does this mean?
I think the key takeaway is that India, alongside the ISA, is really positioning itself at the forefront of the global solar transition. It's not just about domestic targets anymore. It's about driving research, innovation, finance, and grid connectivity on an international scale. It's shaping the future of solar energy globally, encompassing R&D, human capital, and those big interconnected grids.
So a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over.
Yeah, think about the potential ripple effects if this vision of a truly interconnected global solar grid becomes a reality. It's not just about trading energy. What could it mean for international cooperation, for accelerating climate action? And how could this Silicon Valley for solar concept, based in India, truly change the game for renewable energy innovation worldwide? Something to consider.